Okay, I'm live. Let's give a few minutes to see who shows up. All right, well, we're just going to do a little update on Helene and the other storm down in Florida, and kind of like a discussion on the channel. And um, see who all shows up here. It's been a while since my channel, so I've been live, so see who all gets updates. All right, there we go. Got some people in here now. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Life of Mountain Folk. It's good to see you guys. Figure I'd just come on live a little bit. I just got done chatting over on Bob and Bonnie's live stream over there with them. They had a short one, so figured I'd take a little bit of do a little update now that I got internet at home. Gosh, you can live without internet, but it's good to have it back. um, so I was without internet for 2 weeks after Helene came through, and so um, I made it through okay. No, just kind of like little minor stuff around the property and the house for the storm for myself. But I wish I could say the same for many people around me. And actually got blocked in my neighborhood for a day. Fortunately, by the end of the Friday, um, the local fire department cut trees that were blocking the entranceway to my neighborhood out, and so I could get out Friday night. And of course, if anything emergency happened, they could get up in here and take care of the neighbors. But just even in my neighborhood, there's several of my neighbors that had trees come down and cause property damage and damage to their house. So, and there's a lot of damage throughout town, and but Hendersonville and the immediate area where I live uh, fared good, fairly well compared to Asheville and some of the smaller towns in the area. Hey, Bob, good to see you. Um, so, and just seeing the videos and things of pictures of just seeing the places that I grew up going to, hanging out at. Some of those places just don't exist anymore. And just I was out running errands today, and I was at one intersection and I was looking around, and you could see the mud from the water, and you could see the water line, and I went, "Oh my gosh, if I was here the Thursday night, Friday morning when the storm was going through the area, my car would have been completely under water where I was parked at that intersection. And um, so, and um, just going out the Saturday after the storm and uh, just seeing the mud on the road um, where I have never seen it flood before. The last picture I've seen of that area getting flooded was back in the 1970s. And it just looking off to the side of the road, there's like this swampy lake area. And um, the um, water was still even with the road when I went through the day after the storm. And I've never seen I've seen it flood in that area before, but I've never seen the water that high, and that was with it being gone down. Um, so hi Rang Long Lang. Um, yeah, there. Yeah, I've heard about some of the damage down in Greenville, and I think for a while, uh, they were saying that all the roads for us going down to Greenville were blocked off, but um, there was. I know once the roads got clear enough, there was a lot of people from my area since the power was out was going down to Greenville and Spartanburg in South Carolina, um, and I just really appreciate the um, help that everybody from Greenville and Spartanburg were giving us up here, even though um, they got hit by the storm as well. And um, I'm not sure. I haven't really heard how bad um, it was down in um, South Carolina in the Greenville Spartanburg area. Um, that I've mostly have heard about the damage up here in Western North Carolina. Um, so and no, I didn't. Um, yeah, I'm glad I'm safe and um, after just driving around seeing what I have seen and what I've seen is just minor compared to some of the areas I haven't even attempted to go into the areas and um, but the parts that I've seen is really bad. Uh, I've never seen so many trees down in the area that Ice Spaceman um, and around here. Even the biggest storm before this in the area was the blizzard of 1993, and even then, I don't recall um, this many trees being down, um, and just the 2 days before we were getting um, constant rain, and that Thursday, I think it was the Thursday and Friday, and possibly even the Wednesday of that week, we set um, rainfall records for the area, and it was like um, 5, 7 inches, 15 inches, um, and so within that 3 day period, we got a month's worth of rain because we normally average about, I think, about 13, 15 inches a month, and we got that in less than 2 days. Um, so, and in the mountains, everything funnels together. And um, so, I'll, um, I'll probably um, go up to Asheville here in a couple of weeks and drive around and see what's going on. But right now, as far as I go to Asheville, maybe normally as far as I go to Asheville is where I work. I live. Um, my work is in the southern part of Asheville, the south part of Asheville. Um, I actually missed the Aurora lights. Some of the um, I was working that night um, and completely forgot to look up. um, um, but it's definitely been interesting. Um, Even this year has just been an interesting year. It's been a little tough, but at the same time, um, just being blessed by everything that the Lord has done for me over the last year. Um, with my mother passing away in April, and just kind of dealing with the feelings that comes along, um, and um, then with the storm, um, you just kind of get just realize how blessed you are when things happen, and especially with power. Um, and uh, so I was without power for over a week. Um, Internet and cable for 2 weeks. But the power company, the people working for the power company, and the um, phone company and the cable company all had been working really hard, and uh, so it was a little bit frustrating seeing the power company out there working on the lines starting Tuesday and still not getting in power until Sunday. But just being patient and realizing that they were working hard. Most of them were working 16-hour days and probably not getting a whole bunch of sleep in their downtime. Um, um, so, and um, well, I also like to um, that Danielle um, had to deal with the both the hurricanes. Uh, it's fortunately she's um, was a little bit out of the path, but still with Helene, she's still got some damage, and haven't really had a chance to talk to her too much about um, Milton, but we've been texting back and forth, and she said she was okay. So, um, 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 so, and Daniel sent me a text going, "Hey, are you guys okay up there?" And I was glad that I could say yes. Um, and um, and I was sent a few texts to um, some of the my YouTube friends here in Western North Carolina and checked on them, and I'm happy to say that they are doing good. Um, excuse me, and but those of you who know um, the channel Kicking It Country, um, they had I think it's Scott's family. Um, um, they had a mudslide on their property and destroyed their garage and knocked their house off the foundation and destroyed all but one of their cars. So there's a lot of damage and stuff that they're digging out. And Scott's a pastor, and Scott's church got a lot of damage to the basement where the water got in, just water and mud from all the flooding. Um, and um, for those of you who've been with the channel for a while, you may remember when Danielle came up from Florida and spent some time with me. We went down to Chimney Rock, was one of the places that we went to. The road on 64, crossing over into Bat Cave, which is the town right before Chimney Rock. That bridge got washed away. The road that goes through Bat Cave into Chimney Rock um, and down through Lake Lure, um, it got washed away in at least 3 places. Um, there's severe damage to um, Bat Cave and Chimney Rock. Um, a lot of I'm not sure what damage is done to Lake Lure. Part of the dam looks like it got washed away. And so that area got um, pretty bad hit. Um, there, fortunately, a lot of people in that area evacuated the area, uh, and it's not the first time that they've had severe flooding. Um, but uh, this flooding was way worse than any flooding that I've seen, and it's being compared to, I think it's the 1916 or 1906. I know it's ending. It's a beginning of the century and beginning with a six, so it's 1906 or 1916 flood. Um, and it is very comparable to the flood back then. Um, there, the official death count for from Helene in North Carolina is 93 people that lost their life. Um, and there was a family that 11 family members um, were um, did not make it. Um, and it's a sad story in the that's in the Fairview community around Asheville, which and I've driven through that community many times, and and I've heard that they've still are trying to get into some of the coves and stuff in that area. So, uh, so yeah, Jacob lives in Waynesville, and which is probably about a 30-minute drive from me. I've been up to Waynesville several times too, and just hearing about the town of Canton, um, where the Canton they closed the paper mill, which was the biggest employer of that town earlier this year, and now getting hit with the flood. They've had a really rough time, and there's pulling through and just hearing some of the stories that is coming from there. Um, just um, uh, it just breaks my heart. And then hearing up around Boone and the towns around Boone, just Burnsville, going from Burnsville, uh, Banner Elk, um, and up in Avery and Mitchell County. Just just hearing the stories that are coming from there, and just the devastation, um, and 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 just seeing the flooding and stuff and the things from it. So, and um, I I work at a warehouse, and I actually talked to a truck driver yesterday, and he said his normal route is going up through um, up around in that area, and he said he had to make a delivery up there, and he said he just had to. There were several times that he had to turn around, and as you know, 18 wheeler is not an easy thing to turn around. Um, but he said there's just uh, the smaller towns and the communities that you pass through are just gone. Businesses, homes, and just and at least two of my two people on first shift at my work, their homes are just got washed away in the flooding. And a spaceman just said that the truck drivers are coming over the mountain on the roads from Cherokee and Gatlinburg, because right now, if I wanted to go to Gatlinburg, I would have to go through Cherokee and go through the park, because 40 and 26 have sustained so much damage that um, they don't have a time frame. There's a part of 40 going over into Tennessee, um, over the through the gorge, the Pigeon River Gorge, that the road just got washed away. Um, and yeah, and well, it's very common for 40 to have rock slides and mudslides that close a lane or two down for a week or so. But this is just bigger damage. The road is gone in some areas. Um, and I just pray for the people in that area. And um, so the uh, and it just the um, radio stations for in Asheville that are owned by iHeartRadio. Um, they own several of the radio stations in Asheville. For um, a week and almost 2 weeks, they had all their radio stations were simulcasting the same thing, and they had all their radio personalities on there, and they were um, they were telling where you could go for assistance, which churches you could go, where FEMA was set up, and then they were also connecting people uh, with people who would go do welfare checks. And they had a couple of crews that were doing chainsaw, going and cutting the trees off of people's houses and stuff. Um, so the iHeartRadio, their channels, especially 570 AM, uh, the WWNC AM, uh, which is coming up on 100 years of broadcasting here and soon. Them and Kiss Country 99.9 FM here in Asheville. Um, they were the main leads for that time frame. And uh, and and just hearing, I've seen the damage to 40, but I've heard the damage for 26. sounded worse when they were saying it at first, but they're the information I've heard was that they're thinking that it will take longer for 40 to open, um, going over into Tennessee than it will 26 going up to Johnson City. So hopefully um, that's true, and hopefully they do a quicker job than what they're thinking at this point in time. Um, and the currently the Blue Ridge Parkway, the whole parkway is closed down until they can do a the staff can do a review and check on the damage and make a plan to recuperate the damage. And I'm not sure what damage is done on that. Oh, um, no, but um, we've um, have had the National Guard and people flying their private planes and helicopters to do so many things, deliver supplies, food, water, and other supplies that we needed here. And helicopters, private helicopters, and the National Guard and other organizations coming in to do uh, uh, rescues and deliver supplies to areas. um, um, and uh, just um, seeing uh, all the different stuff that's been going on at the Asheville Regional Airport. Um, and yeah, it's um, um, and just being grateful to live in a country where when you see the military in this country, unlike a lot of countries on this planet, um, when you see it immobilized inside the country, it's for a good thing. Um, it just you just look up and see a helicopter, and I'm glad that I'm okay too. And um, so well, I am grateful for the prayers, and I know a lot of you were, um, and I got so many messages, and both on the comments section of my videos, asking how I was, and text messages for some of you that um, have my phone number, were texting me, and just getting emails and stuff, and people asking, and um, it it meant a lot, and that just that my myself and my whole family, the ones that live in the area, made it through okay. Um, we all of us made it out with very little damage. Um, excuse me. Um, ILM R Collins. I'm doing good. Just wanted to pop on now that I have internet and just say hi. Uh, it's been a rough 2 weeks, but um, and but um, there's a lot of things for me that are starting to get back to normal as much as it can be. Um, yeah, I'll let you know, but I think right now I'm good. Um, and so and of course, Danielle, you know that if you need anything, you can send me a text and let me know. Um, I'll figure a way of getting it down to you. um, uh, so, um, and actually, hi, Kicking It Country. How's it going, Scott? Um, uh, yeah, it's just that I wasn't expecting the storm to be this bad. Um, because normally when a hurricane comes flying up through here, it usually just um, flies through. There may be a little bit of flooding here and there, um, but this one kind of gave us a really big whomp. um, and so, on Thursday, they canceled my shift at work. So I just spent the night. I was cooking and I worked on 2 videos, um, which now that I get internet, I need to edit and get them posted. Um, so I plan on getting back into doing my uh, I I don't have Facebook, Bob. If you got you should have my email. Um, so if you can send me an email, um, and hi Riley, Creative Travel. Uh, um, yeah, I was supposed to meet you that Saturday after the storm. But sorry I couldn't make it. Um, and hey, David Fontaine, it's good to see you. But I'm gonna try to. Um, I'm getting adjusted to um, having to do a lot more things around the house than what I was doing. Um, and um, I'll give you an email again so you know what my email is. It's So I'll send it to you so you have it again, Bob. Um, and uh, and I'm already starting to prepare. Um, well, that would be good, Bob. Uh, I'll. I'm planning on getting back to doing the regular videos and maybe me trying to do um, a regular live stream again. Uh, I haven't done a live stream in a while, and um, but I kind of miss it. But I was getting a little bit burned down on it when I was doing it. Um, but I'm gonna see which time works best for me. I may do them. I may do them randomly. Uh, and you know, uh, I need to go get my hair cut. Starting to bother me having it this long. But I was actually planning on when the storm hit was the day that I was planning to go get my hair cut. So I might be able to get out this week before I head to work sometime and get the hair cut. And yeah, and for those of you who haven't, Kicking His Country does a really cool live stream, and he can give you updates on what's going up in his area, which is Avery and Mitchell County. And he does Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. And it's called Chewing the Fat. It's a really fun live stream. A really good group of people that get on there and chat. So, um, so go and check out his channel too. He does some really cool videos as well. Um, and hi, Christy's crazy about coffee. It's been a while since I've seen you, but of course, it's been a while since I've posted anything, so it's probably my fault. um, but yeah, Weed Whacker is probably what I need at this point. Yeah, I know that Henderson County is planning on going back to school on the 14th, which is next Tuesday, I think. I think that's when they're planning on going back. Asheville schools and Buncombe County, they're they had a meeting yesterday, and I don't think that they have a date set yet. Um, okay, Bob, I'll send you an email after the live. Um, and I'll put Dan the Mountain Man in the text line, and check your junk file just in case if it gets kicked over in there, because I know I've sent you a couple of emails and didn't get a reply, so I don't know if it's going to your junk folder or not. when I send you something. Um, and it's just it. I mean, it just this whole storm just kind of breaks my heart to hear some of the stories, and um, even without the pictures, it just breaks my heart um, that hearing of the some of the damage. Just I've had a couple of workers that um, live in Rutherford County that and just hearing some of the damage, especially in the smaller towns. Well, I'm glad you got power, Scott. Um, yeah, um, I got power Sunday night, and I didn't get internet until yesterday morning. But just knowing that they're still continuing to work, I still see power crews down here, and I know that they're still moving around in your area up there. Um, and even with um, Florida, knowing that some of the communities in Florida got hit by both the hurricanes, um, that and just seeing the damage uh, down there. So uh, is it's heartbreaking too. Yeah, I heard about that plastic factory, and that um, what I've heard on that is just infuriates me, um, because they um, they should have been management there should have been more responsible, and when it was obvious that the weather was turning poor, that they should have let the workers told the workers to go home. Um, and my work wasn't in a situation where it could have been flooded or anything like that place, but when the weather conditions were starting to turn bad, I mean, they they told the first shift at where I work, they told them to go home, and uh, and to take care the go and take care of their family and be with their families. Um, and and it's tough, um, because just knowing a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, so it's hard going home when, especially when you uh, think if you go home you're going to lose your job. Um, and I'm so glad that the company I work for, the days that we were shut down because of the storm, for not having power and then clean up after the storm so we could work, they paid us our regular hours for the days that we were shut down. If we were scheduled to work our regular hours, we got we got that pay for those days. And um, for when we got back to work, um, they said if you need to take a day um, to go take care of something for your family or house during this time, um, that that time off is not going to count against you. You can use your um, PTO, your vacation or sick days to pay for it. If you're out of those, then it you won't get paid for it, but it won't count against you. Um, which is really great for my company that I work for, and I think a lot of the companies around where I work are doing the same thing or very similar stuff. Because you take care of your employees because they're the ones that take care of your customers, and your customers are the ones that make your money. But your associates and employees are what really take care of all the good stuff that your company does. And yeah, I think I would have personally. I didn't get hit too bad um, with Helene. Um, I just had to pick up a few branches in the yard. Um, the um, there's um, the but in my neighborhood there's several houses that had trees uh, that were down on the roof of the house. Uh, there's on the road that my house is on. There was a tree that took out the wires, and it was down for over a week before the power company could get there, uh, and the tree service that was with them to get the tree out of the way so they could fix the wires and make the road clear. And then there's several trees throughout the neighborhood that are were blocking the roads through the neighborhood that I live in. Um, that were tangled up in wires. But and yeah, I there's a um there is a point on that for that factory, plastics factory, there would have been a point that I would have said, well, if you want to fire me, you can fire me. But I'm going. There would have been a point at that time that at some point that I would have just said it ain't worth it myself. But I don't know what their guy's situation was and what they were being told and what they were hearing. Um, so it's kind of hard to completely judge. But I mean, I've been in situations where um, we've had a snowstorm coming in, and and I was very close to going ahead and saying I'm going home. If it counts against me, it counts against me. If it don't, it don't. But fortunately, where I work, I've come close to it, but a couple of times. But they usually do really good about where I work about letting us go in time to get home safely. As my company, especially in the last few years, has been very focused on safety. So yeah, like Scott from Kicking It Country was saying, um, we were thinking it was going to be normal flooding for us, but um, and uh, like I said earlier, um, I seen where it had flooded, where I hadn't seen it flood ever before in my life, and seen the water higher than where I've ever seen it in certain areas. And normally, when the hurricanes come up in through the mountains like this, it'll hit the mountains and whatever strength is left in it, uh, the mountains will break it up. But Helene just hit um, way the one person described it I was listening to that's a little bit of expert on the weather. He said it just hit the valley that goes in the middle of the uh, mountains just right, and it went right up that valley. And yeah, that's very true, Scott. Um, and just it's like hearing the stories of parts of Asheville, especially uh, the Swananoa part. Um, Swananoa is a little town that's just east of Asheville, in between Asheville and uh, Black Mountain, and it was destroyed. And the supermarket, Ingles, their home office, and warehouse, and they only got that one warehouse that feeds all their stores, and then um, and it it was badly damaged, and they just lost millions of dollars of food. They got what they could out to the stores, um, but they said it was millions of dollars of food that they lost in the distributing center, um, and um, um, and it's um, but you go into Walmart, you go into Ingles, um, and even some in the Publix, and you'll see sections where that are just empty. But usually between those three stores, I've been able to find what I went out and looked for. Um, yes, you can claim um, food loss, anything you lost in your refrigerator, and the um, you can claim it on your insurance, and you can also claim it with um, FEMA as well. But I think um, FEMA's deadline for um, was I think FEMA's deadline for Helene was Friday, Thursday or Friday was the deadline to submit for that. At least that's what I heard. Um, but um, so um, and the yeah, but I did talk to my insurance agent and asked her about it. So, um, about it, and she said, "Yeah, your food cost is covered, but um, in most cases, it's probably unless you have house damage, utter damage to your house, um, it's um, um, it's probably not worth filing for the food you lost in your refrigerator unless you have utter damage. Uh, FEMA is definitely interesting. Um, you apply for one thing, and they'll go through all the other stuff, maybe if you didn't apply for it or not, and tell you, "Oh, you've been uh, rejected for this," even though you didn't apply for it. So I think that's probably a little bit of the confusion that people are having with FEMA. Um, but I have heard it's taking it's taking about a week or so for FEMA to process things. Um, yeah, Scott says that Kenny is doing good. Um, the place where he's living now uh, is taking taking care of the people that live where he lives. So um, yeah, and so um, but yeah, it's just seeing people. Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, there are actually a couple of NASCAR teams that have done all kinds of things to help the people out of Western North Carolina. Um, just planes and truckloads. The where I work, they've gotten at least I think they said two of the truckloads that we got where I work to help some of my coworkers out. They sent like two truckloads of stuff, and I forget which team it was, but the um, our director of maintenance has a contact, and it's down in I think it's down in Hickory or something where his contact is. And like I said earlier in the live stream, Scott's church was flooded out pretty bad. The basement area um, got water and mud in it, and the pictures that Scott showed on his live stream was just um, um, it looked bad. Um, so, but I'm definitely glad that Scott and his family are here to tell us the story of what they went through. Um, all right. Any other questions or information people would like to share? And I'll guess I'll wrap it up here in a little bit. Um, so, but people of Western North Carolina are. It's been rough for us, but um, uh, and then one of the hardest things for me is that usually it's us in Western North Carolina that whenever a hurricane hits um, somewhere in the country, it's usually us that are sending people, sending donations. Hi, White Witch, how you doing? Um, and but we uh, in many cases, even before our local government officials um, had done anything, um, just regular people, the churches um, already had things rolling and going, and um, by the time the government got started, it was like, just get out of our way and let us go do what we need to do. Um, Hi, Kendra. It's good to see you. Um, uh, so, but just um, just the church I go to, which is in downtown Hendersonville or the main part of Hendersonville. Uh, for the first week, we were Tuesday through Friday. We were after they had generators set up because my church didn't get power. My church, which is in the main part of town, didn't get power until Thursday. Uh, and um, but they were distributing food the first week, and then a couple of days this week, and we um, um, and now our church is moving into. We have an old store location in town that all the supplies that the church got, they got the supplies there, and they're distributing them out to the different organizations in the area that normally do um, the relief stuff and people in crisis and stuff. So they'll probably be doing that for a while. Um, and uh, it don't take it's like when people would ask for, they needed something, and it's like, hey, if you need something, you stop by. Um, if you needed something in this storm, it was like, and you wanted a place to go, you just had to stop at a church. You stop at your fire department, um, because those were either a church or a fire department um, were handing out supplies, taking care of people, helping them out. Um, so and just um, and it felt good helping out at the church, handing out supplies, um, and I think that meant more to me just being able to help. Um, people, um, um, than it was that somebody was helping me out. But in the whole time, it was like just listening to what God said, and it was like going out to um, needing something and going out, and then God just saying, "Go here," and it's like uh, going to help somebody, and in the process of helping out at the church, the things um, that I needed for that day that you wouldn't think that you could get at the church. Well, somehow God had something rolling, and boom, hey, if you go right over here next door to the church, they're giving this out for the people that are helping out here. And hey, if you need something, just go ahead and grab it up. And so it's like uh, anything I needed, it was like for the first week, it was like nothing I that I needed, I had to pay for. Um, and God would just supplied it. Um, um, but um, it, but I got to give the at least the local government government officials, considering the amount of damage and that it's something that we couldn't have planned for. Um, that what they did in the situation, and many of them were, I mean, all of them, all the local officials were in the same situation as us. So I'm sure many of them had damage to their home, if not lost their home. And many of them didn't know where some of their family members were for a while. Um, but yet they were out there taking care of their um, um, taking care of their neighbors as well. Everybody was doing their part to help, and there there was a few cases of looting, which I've heard up in Asheville and a few other places. But it wasn't too bad. There's a lot of rumors. I don't know how true they are. Um, Going around for different things, and I'm um, sure that um, the amount of people that we've lost is probably at least a little bit higher than what they're officially saying, especially at this time. Um, so, but I really don't want to get into it that much here. Um, and but uh, um, so but I do appreciate all of you that reached out um, to me through the various means. and ask if I've been okay. And so I am planning on um, starting to post videos regularly, but um, and maybe me trying to do a live stream here and there as well. So, uh, but I guess it's getting up close to 10 o'clock. So, and it's been over an hour and 20 minutes. So I guess I'll go ahead and uh, close this up. Hi, Roy and Marie. Uh, and so I'll talk to you guys later. And I'll, Bob, I'll give you a email or text um, after we close out here. And um, and I'll talk to you a little bit later. Um, and I want everybody to have a good night, and please be safe out there, and I will be safe. Um, and I'll be pretty busy for the next little while. Uh, because where I work, we um, will be doing a lot of supplying of people that are helping out the people that have been affected by both of the hurricanes in the last month here. Um, yeah, thank you, Danielle. It's meant a lot to me that um, you've been um, checking in on me and making sure that I've been okay the last 2 weeks, and um, so that's meant a lot to me. And all right, guys. Well, um, thanks for coming in tonight, and please keep an eye on out. Yes, I'll see about doing a live stream again, and maybe me getting into a regular habit of it again, um, and trying to get back into doing the videos. I've um, and probably go in a little bit more detail about what's been going on this year, and things with my mom passing in April. Um, so okay. Thank you guys for coming by, and I'll see you guys later. Um, and just thank you for coming in. It means a lot, and it was really nice to see a lot of the regulars in here tonight. And I hope to see you guys around on your channels as well. So good night, guys, and I'll see you guys later. And you sleep well too, Danielle. And good night, everybody.